I'm Lynne with Softsquares. Today is December 20th, 2025, and it is the day 20 for the B box, the Advent box that I do, and day, what is that, 7 for the A box. It's not as easy to keep track of those. I started the A box opening those on December 14th, and I've been opening the B box since January 1st. This is a video series. You can go back and start watching from the beginning and see all the fun goodies that have come out of these boxes. And just a quick note, we have opened up the pre-sale for the 2026, which means you can buy the box outright, or you can do a $50 deposit per box, and then we will send you information and break down the balance into manageable payments, and you make the payments on your own schedule, when and how you feel like. So you can skip a couple months and you can pay a whole bunch all at once. We just ask that you get it paid off by the end of July. So you have quite a bit of time to work on that. And the B box will have a personalized item just like it has in the past. So that is our good news. Let's start opening our boxes. So A7 is a little bag with a little bag. And our little note inside says, A box, day 7. These fun and helpful things are great personal items for your bags. Are you a material girl? So we have a little bag and a bunch of little things in here. So first of all, there's a pen. It says Softsquares Quilting Store. And then it says, excuse the mess, I quilt here. It's just a fun magnet on a tile. These will break, don't drop it. You're also getting this keychain with a bunch of charms on there. And if you don't like keychains, need one or whatever, pull the charms off and use them on a necklace. Use it on a zipper tab for whatever you want. You can, lots of different ways you can utilize these. But yeah, so we have a scissor, we have a little featherweight, and we have a tape measure. Those 3 little charms on there. And then we have this that says, beautiful things come together one stitch at a time. So again, keychain, but you can dismantle it and use it in other ways. And then you have this little box that says Merry Christmas, and inside it is a luggage tag that says Material Girl. Of course, that tag decided it wanted to cover up its words. There, Material Girl. So it's pink leather, and you put on your travel stuff, whether it be local or going on a plane. These are great, and they're nice. They're high quality leather. And this is together by, oh, it doesn't say. Never mind who I think it's from. Anyway, there you go. Look how cute that is. So you get a pink bag with a pink bag and a pink note and a pink pen and a pink thing. And you know what? The pinks weren't planned. It just kind of happened. And a couple things are not pink. But have fun with these cute little notions. Let's see what the elf says about this one. Day 20 envelope. The elf says something. Oh boy, a day full of elf trinkets. Being a traveler, I will use most of it a lot. What would be your favorite vacation spot if you could travel during the holiday time or into the new year? Think about that. All right, so now let's move on to B. B is this fun long package. It's the only thing like this. And let's see what's in there. You have more wrapping and a pattern. Inside the bag is this. So you are getting this. This right here is coming from Creative Notions, my friend Vicki, and there is a pattern that goes with this template. And I have a tutorial on making it. You have 2 ways you can use it with this pattern. One is the wall hanging, which is a circle, or it looks like a dartboard to me. The other is a table topper. I have made this one, and I'm going to show you my finished project to this point. I have not finished it, but look how fun that is. This needs to be appliqué down. It is not top stitched yet because I'm not done. But as you can see from mine, I have done the inner circle and these 4 corners here. What I still have to do is the border, which includes all of this, and that's where all of these other pieces come into play that give it this, starburst look. So I have everything cut out. This is going in my UFO pile just to finish it. But this is the balance of those. And you are going to make a whole bunch of these and some of these. And I have some, you're going to do the 8 at a time, half-inch square triangles. And really, the main thing I wanted to get done was playing with the template. This will get done sometime. It finishes as a 35 by 35 square thing, which means it's good size. So this measures at 35.5 by 35.5 when you're done with the whole block. This is 24 by 24, so we still have 11 inches to add to this, and I estimated it will bring it out to like the middle of this border right here. So it's going to be a good size. Going to be a good size wall hanging or small quilt or table topper. So that is this, and this is a lot of fun. So again, I just have to finish my border, which gives all those little points, and then top stitch the circle down, and then I can finish it however I want. So this is where I'm stuck on putting mine together, as I haven't done all of this part yet. But I have done this. I've done up to this point. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and but it's doable. So stick around to the end of this video, and you will get a tutorial on that. Let's see what the elf has to say. Oh, I love it when Lynne gives us a project with anything special to go with it. Do you think you'll make this in 2026? So try the project out and stick around for the tutorial. But first, let's do a ball. I-28 is your bingo ball for the bingo game that's in the V-box. All right, let's talk about this quilt. I haven't talked about the quilts in the background for a while because a lot of these you've seen before if you watched the beginning of the video series with the first part of the B-boxes being open. But this is the Make It Merry quilt. I have a couple kits left, and I have a video series with it. I love this. This is the quilt pattern by Lamp Farm Designs, and in the B-box, in the patterns on day 1, is a coordinating table runner that goes with this. And Leanna, Pastry Cream Farm Adventures, has already made it. So if you want to see what that looks like and how it comes together, be sure to check her channel out. But this is my Make It Merry quilt, and I love it. I've never done anything like this before. You just got this for day 20 of the B-box for the 2025 Advent. This is a 15-degree ruler. It's really nice because it is 12.5 inches long, and you can make some big Dresden stuff with this. Now, you have a pattern, and I am going to make this. These are the same, just dark version and light version, but in here there's also instructions to make a table runner. So if you don't want to brave the circles, which you're going to watch me do the circles, and they're actually pretty easy, but you have 2 options. And this is a pretty good size pattern with a lot of step-by-step details in here. It's actually comes together pretty easy, but be patient and give yourself some grace. So let me show you what I have done so far. I have cut all my pieces out according to pattern. Now again, I'm making this. Okay, this is called Starburst. Both the pattern and the template are from Creative Notions, and it is another online shop that does subscription boxes. And these were in her boxes several years ago, but I do carry her templates and her things in my shop now, and I was really excited to be able to do a project with a 15-degree template. So we're going to make this one. Check all my pieces. I figured out what fabric I'm using and what I'm going to label it as. And then I checked things off as I went through here. And then it shows you how to cut it out. If it's with a fat quarter, how to lay it out to cut it. And there are some curved piecing in here, and you get the template for it. So this is my curved piecing, and I cut my pieces out, and they're attached to it. These pieces are actually what go around the outer side of the circle. They are these right here. So that's what makes the circle a square. Okay, so you're going to need that. And as with normal Dresden, the very center, you have to cover it up with something. So another thing we have is a circle template, and I've got that with stabilizer, because it does suggest stabilizer, and my pink fabric that matches my background, which is what I'm using on this one. Just be careful to read really close what you're doing as you cut your pieces out. So that actually was self-explanatory. Then you're going to make, with the pieces you cut from here, strip sets. You can see how it's showing you how that happens. And then you're going to take your template. You're going to lay the template across your strip sets, and you're going to cut and you're going to get strips that go opposite. Sewing your pieces together, and then we have half square triangles. We have a whole bunch of these. You see all these arrows? They're used for those. Got all these half square triangles. Okay, so I've made those. That's a straightforward half square triangle. Now I am to the point where I have sewn my pieces together. I have 4 sections that look like this. Now what I have done, I mixed it up a little bit. You can do whatever you want, but I have got, I had a lot of this fabric, so I used this as my alternating fabric on here. In their sample, I guess they had a yellow and pink one. Regardless, just be careful when you lay it out that when you add all 4 pieces, you still are going every other one. And I have 3 different fabrics here. I have 4 different fabrics with 3 different things, which means it's going to take a minute to put this together. So obviously these 2 do not go together side by side because these 2 are close. And so I rotated it. Let me find the piece that should go here. It would be this one. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start over. 1, 2, and the next one would be this one, which is now off of the screen. 3, 4, 1, and then then the other corner will go in there. So right now you're just making them in quarter quadrants. Just make sure that you actually have it so it will lay out. Does that make sense? It came together really easy. There's big squares and little squares, and I've labeled everything that I cut out, and I've got them all marked right here because you need all of them because the pink is my background. So this is the little square pink ones. This is a rectangle or like a strip. This is a rectangle. So anyway, these have what I need. So I'm going to lay these out so I can grab them when I'm ready. So there's all of that. I have now made this. I'm going to show you how to make this with these other pieces here. So this right here is the curved piece. See how that goes right there? And then when it mirror images, it goes over here. So you need 8 of these, and it will have you cut 8. But that's what that's for. And then we have to assemble this block right here. So we're going to take our small block, 2 half square triangles, and then a solid of another small block, which is how I made my little dart. Now I am changing up the corners so they are all different. And what I've done is the fabric that is not in my wheel is what I put up here. So it should be like obvious, only one fabric that I'm using will go there. And this is how I'm laying mine out. So I've got one made. Let's take this one. This one is missing the bicycle block. So you can see how this is coming together. It's going to have 4 sections, and you can see how there's 3 red, and then it's turned. And then, so I've done exactly what they've done, except my colors, that I won't have the thing that's striped in that section will also be in the corner. I will not have that. And actually theirs does work that way. So this goes here, this is here. So there is a pattern to what they did, but that's not my pattern. So anyway, that's what we are doing is we're building this section right here. So with the 2 rounded pieces and then the little tulip block. So the page before this is page 4. Page 5 is having us make half square triangles. And I skipped right over that. I got kind of excited. So I'm going to take 1 half square triangle. Nope, actually it says to take 2. Take 2 half square triangles. Because in addition to the ones on the corner, there's going to be a lot of half square triangles. We're making a lot of them. And they're going to be in the frame. You see that? Just follow the instructions. It won't steer you wrong. I need 2 of these, which I am going to just pull out. And I did not measure my fabric when I started. I just had these cute back quarters and then this bunch of pink. And in the end, I did not have enough of this. So I actually ended up piecing some of this one right here. So you can see it's got a seam in it. I pieced it. You can do it too. Doesn't matter. It's quilted, you're going to not see it anyway. So anyway, I've got a couple pieces in here that I had to piece because I just did not have enough of what I was working with. And because I need a mirror image going 2 different directions, I need to make sure, because some of these have a seam, that I am not ending up with the seam side up, which is what this would do if it were here. So that means this one gets to be here, and this one gets to be here, and then my triangle block, the tulip block, will go here, then the Dresden itself will fit there. What you do is you draw an X from one corner to the other, and then go over to the other one. Then you're going to sew on both sides of that, and then you're going to cut it open on the lines, but you're also going to cut it open where you did no sewing, and that's going to make 8. So I'm going to do that with all of these blocks. And then we're going to square these up to 2.5, nope, 2.25 inch. So the half square triangles that I've already made, I actually have not squared those up yet. All I did was make a set, pull out what I needed, and put it to this side. So I'm going to have a squaring up party with 16 per color. So I didn't even show you how to use it, but basically you make all your strips and then you line the stripe up with the lines that are on your template to make sure that they're straight. And you just rotate it every other one along your strip of fabric. So it goes like this, so then you rotate it and do it like this, making sure that the whole piece, tip to bottom or tip to wherever it tells you, making sure this whole piece is in. That simple. Okay, so let's make a whole bunch. I'm going to square it up using this. I'm going to show you how, if you have a bigger ruler. So the block is my favorite. It has a groove in here, so when you put it on here, it actually locks in on the seam and makes it so it's super crisp. I like this a lot. This is 4.5 inch, and I only need it to go to 2.5. So I'm going to line everything up with actually 2.25 with this line right here. So you just look on there, see where your numbers are, and that's where you're going to line up. Like this. There we go. And that is what I'm going to be sewing together. I'm going to sew these little groups together. And that way these actually will nest together. So when you do this, your seams are going opposite directions. Now I'm going to take this and my 2 pieces that are corner pieces. And from there, I think you can see what I'm doing. Is this better? There. So this is going to go right here. And then this is going to go right there. And it's 1/4 of the way down, other than the border, which is just a whole bunch of these. I'm getting excited. We are going to, again, I've got to make sure, because this was piece, that my seam is down. So one side on. And press it open. Actually, the arrows say to press it in. I bet they know what they're talking about. I'm going to leave it though, because in my brain, I think it will work this way. And I want to leave it. Now we have this. And now comes the really fun part, I promise. It really is awesome. So we're going to put this piece around this piece. And to do that, you find the center of both pieces. Now this one's pretty easy because it's this joint right here that we just sewed together. Right there. So that's the center of that one. And this one, the center is the seam right here, because there's 6 blocks. So go into 3, and there's that. So we're going to take that center seam and the center of this and line them up and pin it. Now I want to pin, me personally, with this side up so that I can make sure that when I come on across those, I'm not going to get them bent going the wrong way. So anyway, you start in the middle and then you go to both the two outer edges and then you ease it in. I'm pinned. Let's sew it together. And I am actually going to leave it this way with this on top after all. And the way I did my pressing on the bottom, everything is pressing this way. So I shouldn't end up with something flipped up. And I know how to watch for it. My preference is when there's a lot of seams to have that be on top. It doesn't matter, and we're totally fine. So as you do this, what you do is you just move the fabric over so that the sides match. And that's another reason why this is best if this piece is on top. And you are kind of stretching, not really stretching, but you're manipulating the fabric. You're not stretching it at all. It's just you're bending. How do I say this? You are stretching, but you're not making it stretchy. You're just easing it in. There we go. And it's not flat, and it's not going to lay flat. It's not supposed to lay flat. It's a circle. Other than where the seam is, you want it to be flat. I don't know why, and I really don't care, but my very end did not match up. But I don't have any puckers. And that's what matters. So let's press this out. But look, I have a half a circle. And so what I did is I pressed open the pieces where I had all the piecing. Now this matches the rest of it. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'm not going to make you watch me, but I will show you the finished project. I wish you luck. I think it's going to be a fun experience to play with circles. And if this is not something you want to do as far as a circle, remember there is a table runner pattern in here too. I am so proud of that. After you get all four quadrants together, we're going to go and make a whole bunch of the tulip blocks and the arrows. And that's why there's all these half square triangles that I have not completed. That's what there is to do with those. So this still has to come. This is the assembly where you're piecing together your borders and putting the border on. You can handle that part. I have an update for you. I have made all four blocks, sewn them together. I had put the corner ones upside down and unpicked them after I had already attached it. So anyway, I got through all that and it's now assembled. Now you take your circle piece with the stabilizer and I've already got it on the back side here. So what you do is and by the way, the center doesn't match up, which we kind of knew was going to happen, right? And you don't need to worry about it. And you don't want the bulk, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so you want this as flat as you can. You take the center circle piece thing. It's just a paper backing. You can take this stuff from any of your other projects. There we go. There. So I've got the shiny side was just against this. That's what you want to have down. So make this as flat as you can because it does want to TP on me, and this will help keep it flat. And just center it. Get it where you want so it looks good. It could be exact. Let's just see if we can be. Now I'm going to put this on and apply pressure and hold it. Don't do this. And now we are done. Here's the circle. So now what's left is to make the border. Now you're going to make two of each of the blocks. So I have made the other block of each of those corners, and those are going to be used in the corners of the So here's the corner right now that we have, and then they're going to be these corners. And then all of these others are more of an arrow. So we have 4 corners, and I haven't made any of the arrows yet, but I have all my half square triangles cut out, sewn and cut out, but they're not squared up. And then we have to pair them up to make sets of 4 that make a V. And then we have all of these strips, and it'll put the border together. And I may or may not show you the finished look of that, but this is what I am making. This is what I have. I really like it. Obviously the center needs a top stitch. What do you think? Oh, I'm going to show you the back. So the back, every other section, I pressed this one in towards the circle and this one away from the circle, this one in, this one away, so that when I matched my seams right here, they nested. There's not much here to even fiddle with because this is such a skinny piece of the background over here. But that's what I did. What do you think? All right, so here's my bullseye. They call it starburst, but here's my template. And this is that shape. So there we go. Good luck. Please show me your projects. I want to see what fabric you use and what pattern you use. And I hope you enjoyed this new tool, the 15-degree template. I'll see you tomorrow.